And I wanted to thank you for joining me for Wednesday morning 7 a.m. gentle yoga. So we're gonna start nice and chill. We're gonna start in a seated position, and you can have your legs crisscrossed, or you can have them out in front of you if that feels better. You can put a block or blanket under your hips. But you want to get to where you can be comfy for a few minutes here. And we'll start from the top of the head and work our way down. So we'll take a little neck stretch. Reach your hands out to the sides and fingertips down towards the mat. Drop your shoulders down away from the ears. And then reach your right ear towards your right shoulder as you continue to drop your shoulders down so that ear is chasing the shoulder and the shoulder's running away. If you want to place your right hand on your left ear to gently guide your head down into the stretch, you can, as long as you're not yanking on it. And take a few breaths in the stretch. Release your head back to center, and then drop your left ear to the left shoulder. Maybe using a hand on the side of your head for gentle guidance. And let your head return back up to center. We'll take a few shoulder rolls to bring some blood flow up into the neck and shoulders. So you can roll your shoulders back. You can roll them forward. And then take a big shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Scrunch them up there really good. And release. Maybe one more time if that felt good. Big shrug. And then let the shoulders slide down and back. And then we'll move on up to the arms. So raise your right arm up overhead, bicep by your ear, and bend your elbow. As you bend your elbow and let the hand drop down between your shoulder blades, you can use your left hand on your right elbow to draw it back a little bit. And at the same time, sit up nice and tall. Lift your gaze out in front of you. That can help guide the tricep stretch as well. And release your hands down by your sides. Maybe shake them out a little bit. And set up for the other side. Bring your left arm up overhead, bicep by your ear, and bend your left elbow. You can bring your right hand to your left elbow if you want. Sit up nice and tall. Lift your gaze forward. Maybe the back of your head is pressing into your arm a little bit, guiding that stretch. And let go of the left arm. Shake out both your arms a little bit. And then we'll take a gentle twist, maybe the first twist of the day. So let your breath guide the twist instead of your muscles. Place your right hand behind you, directly behind you, so that you're almost bracing your spine, helping yourself sit up tall. Bring your left hand to your right knee. As you inhale, lengthen your spine. Imagine there's an invisible string connected to the crown of your head, and it's drawing you upwards. As you exhale, relax, drop into the twist only as far as your spine naturally wants to go. Because on your next inhale, you lengthen your spine again. You exhale, maybe you drop deeper into the twist. Always let that breath guide you. Take one more breath here. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to twist. And return to center. Switching sides, this time your left hand comes behind you. Sit up tall. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to twist. And we'll take 5 breaths here. And return to center. We're going to come into a child's pose. So you can cross your ankles and rock forward onto your knees if that feels okay. Or you can roll onto the side of your hip and swing your legs behind you if that feels better. For child's pose, bring your knees wide to the edge of your mat. Big toes come to touch. Send your hips back to your heels and slide your hands forward. You can rest your forehead on the mat. If it doesn't meet the mat, you can stay there, or you can feel free to prop it up with a rolled up towel or a blanket or a block. That can take some of the tension out of your neck. And this child's pose is a good place for you to check in with your body and see how you're feeling today. If you have any areas of tension or pain that need a little bit of focus. It's also a good place to check in with your breath. See if there's anything keeping you from taking deep inhales and long exhales. Maybe you start to become aware of those. Breathe into the hips, breathe into the back. And while you're in child's pose, we're going to take a little side stretch. So with your arms still extended, your heart pressed down to the mat, walk your fingers over to the right side, maybe not very far, but enough that you start to feel some sensation either in your left arm or the left side of your rib cage or maybe down in your hips. And don't go to the point of pain, just the point where you feel that sensation. And then walk your hands back through center and over to the left side. And back to center one more time. Slide your hands back up under your shoulders. We'll come up to a tabletop position. In tabletop, your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, hips over knees. And you can start with a flat back, but we'll take a little bit of organic movement here first. You can snake side to side or hinge back and forth. Just starting to wake up the spine. And we'll move through some cat-cows, and you can move through at your own pace since you're matching your movement to your breath. As you inhale, drop your belly, lift your tailbone, but pull your shoulders away from your ears and kind of squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit. Gaze up. And then as you exhale, round your spine, really puffing your shoulders up to the ceiling, but relaxing your head and your neck. And then inhale to cow again, arching your back. Exhaling to cat. And move through 3 more with your own breath. You might be going a little faster or a little slower than I am, and that's totally okay. And we're warming up the spine a little here. Once you've finished your cats and cows, come back to a neutral tabletop, flat back, and we'll go into thread the needle from your tabletop. So shift your weight into your left palm. Inhale your right arm up overhead. As you exhale, slide it under your left armpit. You can bring that right shoulder and cheek all the way down to the mat, or you can put some blankets or pillows or something up under there. Once you find that pose you want to be, you can leave your left hand under your shoulder, or you can slide that left hand forward like you would in child's pose. Fully extend it. And you can adjust this pose to fit your needs. So for some people, they really like to get into the shoulder and use this to stretch out those muscles behind the shoulder blades. Other people will feel it more in their extended arm up into the armpit. So make this pose what you want it to be. And then don't forget to breathe here. And bring your left hand under your shoulder again. Press yourself up. Reach your right arm up before setting it down again and getting ready to switch sides. This time, shift weight into your right palm. Inhale your left arm up. Exhale, slide it through. Bring that shoulder and cheek down towards the mat. And then slide your right hand forward. When you're feeling even with your other side and balanced, you can bring your right hand back under your shoulder, press yourself up, reach your left arm up to the sky, and set it down. And in your tabletop, we'll bring some focus into the hands and the wrists. Sometimes they get a little forgotten and neglected. So spread your fingers wide on the mat and then see if you can press the base of each knuckle into the ground. Now, this is probably pretty active for some people, especially if you spend a lot of time using a computer, typing, or on a phone. Sometimes our hands just don't get used to fully extending like this. And if it feels okay for you, if it feels okay on your wrists, you can rock forward and back a little bit to bring some stretch and extension into the wrist. If this feels really good, really juicy, and you want to intensify it, you can turn your hands so that your fingertips are pointing outwards, and you can take that motion side to side. Move slow, move carefully. And then to counter this, you will just flip your hands so that the back of your hand is on the ground, fingertips facing you, and you can gently rock backward and forward again. If you would like to intensify this counter pose, you can scoot your knees up into the palms of your hands, but only if that feels good. And you can kind of use your knees to massage out those muscles in the palms a little bit. But if that is too intense on your wrists, don't do it. Make this work for you. And then release your hands, shake them out a little bit. And then hopefully, when you bring your hands to the mat, they'll feel more grounded, better able to press in and take weight. So come back to tabletop. We're going to move into our first down dog. We're not going to do a lot of up down today, but we'll get a little inversion in here. So spread your fingers wide, press the knuckles, the underside of the knuckles into the mat. Tuck your toes, lift your knees and lift your hips, and pedal out your down dog by straightening one leg and then the other. Saying hello to those hamstrings. And then once you've warmed those up a little bit, bend your knees as much as you need to. And your heels can reach down towards the mat, and they may or may not touch the mat. That's okay. Lift your hips up to the ceiling, and see if you can press equal weight in both your hands and your feet. So press into the hands, melt your heart towards your thighs. And then look forward to the spot on your mat between your hands and baby step your feet up there until they come between your hands so that you can come into a forward fold. You can have your feet hip width apart. Most people feel pretty stable there, or you can have your big toes touching if you like that better. Let your hands hang loose. You can sway side to side if you want. You can rest your pinkies in your elbows. Make sure you're not holding tension in your neck as well. And you can check this by shaking your head yes, shake your head no, shake your head yes again. And then we're gonna roll up slowly to standing, but take your time here. Keep your head and neck relaxed, keep your arms relaxed. Maybe you start to engage your core just a little bit to support your spine as it comes up. I always think of those little roly-polies, especially in the summertime. We called them roly-polies. I've heard them called pill bugs, but those little gray guys roll up in a ball, and then as soon as you leave them be and they're not scared anymore, they'll uncurl beautifully. And your head and neck are the last things to uncurl and come up. And shine your palms forward so that your shoulders slide down and back, away from your ears. Root down through your feet. We worked on being grounded into our hands when they're on the mat. Now you can ground down through the feet. So shift your weight forward and back slowly. And see if you can find the sweet spot in the middle where you do feel balanced. And then this can be really challenging, but try lifting your toes and then setting down each toe individually, like one at a time. I don't know about you, but that's really challenging for me. But that might give you a good toe grip on the mat. And then make sure you've got a little micro bend in your knees so you're not locking your knees, preventing blood flow. So from here, you've got a good base. And come back to that idea of that invisible string attached to the crown of your head, drawing you up. So at the same time that you're rooted down through your feet, you're lifting up through your spine, all the way up through the crown of your head. And inhale your arms up overhead for extended mountain. And exhale, take a little mini back bend here. Not too crazy, just lifting the chest up to the ceiling. And then come back to your extended mountain. Inhale, exhale. Bring your hands through heart center, come down to forward fold. And inhale, halfway lift. This time your hands can come to your shins or your thighs. Squeeze your shoulder blades back and together. Suck your belly button into your spine. And then release down to forward fold again. Plant your hands on the mat. And then step one foot back. You can step it back straight as if you're coming into a lunge, or you can set that knee down. Actually, yeah, just go ahead and set the knee down and then send the other foot back so you come into a tabletop. Maybe move things out a little bit more here. And from your tabletop, bring your right foot between your hands. So we're coming into like a kneeling crescent. You can bring your hands to your thighs. Get your balance here. A lot of times I'll leave my back toes tucked so that my toes are gripping the mat. It tends to help my balance a little bit. From here, inhale your arms up overhead. And then we're going to take a little twist towards the right, so towards our front leg. Bring your right hand back and your left hand forward. And just like we did in the beginning, let your breath guide your twist. So as you inhale, think about lengthening your spine, coming up nice and tall. And as you exhale, dropping into the twist a little farther if your body likes that. Take one more breath here. I'm going to turn around so that you can see what I do next. After your one more breath, come back up to center. And then open your arms to the opposite side. So the left side this time. And your left arm comes back, your right arm comes forward. So you're just taking a little counter twist. And then come back to center. Bring your arms down to the mat, framing your front foot. Send your front foot back, and you can stretch it out, shake it out. If you really want to do some hip circles, you can. Before setting that knee back down on the mat. And then this time your left foot comes up between your hands. If it doesn't reach, you can scoot it forward. Just making sure that your knee is stacked over your ankle. You can bring your hands up to your thighs as you lift your torso. Square your hips to the front of the mat. And then bring your arms up overhead. Big inhale. Exhale, take the twist with your left arm coming back, right arm coming forward. And if it feels pretty intense to be holding your arms out in this kind of a pose, you can always bring your hands to your hips and take the twist from your shoulders. So make these poses work for you. And then I'll switch sides so you can see. Take one more breath here. And then bring your arms up overhead. Big inhale. Exhale, open up to the opposite side, your right side this time. And just taking that little counter twist. And then bring your arms back up, twist your torso back to center, release the hands down to the mat, and then send your front foot back, stretch it out, shake it out. Do some circles if you want. And then we're gonna take just a quick moment in child's pose here to bring some length in through the shoulders, into the back. And then press yourself up to seated. And again, you can cross your ankles and rock back to come to seated, or you can roll onto the side of your hip and swing your legs forward out in front of you. So from here, we're going to move into a one-legged staff pose, which kind of looks like tree, only you're sitting. So your left leg is going to be fully extended, and you bring your right foot to the inside of your left thigh and let your knee fall open to the side. If you want to, you can also prop up that right knee if the hip opener is a little intense. And then take a minute to go back and forth between pointing your left toes and flexing your foot with your toes pointing up to the ceiling. So point and flex, point and flex. And sitting up tall here and flexing the foot might be enough for you to feel lengthening in the back of the leg or a hamstring stretch. So you can absolutely just stay here if that feels good to you. If you want to intensify it and fold forward, you can start by reaching your hands up overhead and then leading with your chest, hinging at your hips. So you've got a flat back. When you can't go with a flat back anymore, release your hands down to your leg or the floor. And if it feels okay on your back, then you can round your spine and let your head fall towards your leg. And if you want to make this a very active stretch, you can continue pointing your toes up towards the ceiling. If you want to make this a more restorative pose, you can let that foot relax and maybe the thigh rolls out a little bit. Find the fullest extension of this pose for you today in this moment. And take a few more breaths here. And if you are folded forward, walk your fingertips back towards your torso to bring yourself back up to seated. Extend both legs. You can shake them out a little bit. Windshield wiper back and forth, whatever feels good here. You can even place your hands behind you and press your heart up, taking a little back bend. And then switch sides, keeping your right leg extended, and bringing your left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Again, you can let that knee fall out to the side towards the ground, or you can prop it up and make it comfy. And your two sides might be different, so check in with this side. And as you start to point your right toes and then flex the foot, bringing the toes up, pointing and flexing. Notice how this side might feel different from the left. And if you want to sit up nice and tall and stay right here, you can stay here. If you'd like to fold forward, bring the arms overhead, reach with your heart, release your hands. And if it feels okay on your back, you can allow your spine to round. You might need some more time on this side than you did on the other. You might need a little less. So listen to your body. If you need the extra time, stay and take the extra time. If you're feeling balanced, you can start to walk your fingertips back towards you, lifting your torso. Extend both legs and shake them out. If you want to take that little back bend here again, you can. And we'll all meet back in seated. And moving into a cobbler's pose, you'll bring the soles of your feet together and you can draw the heels in towards your body. Decide how close you want your heels to be to you, because that can just change where you feel a sensation. And once you find the place where you want your feet to be, you can let your knees fall open towards the ground. Again, you can prop those up if you want to make this a more restorative pose, or if that inner thigh sensation is too intense. You can stay right here, sitting up nice and tall. You can choose to fold forward, leading with your heart, pressing your heart towards your feet. And when you can't go with a flat back anymore, you can stay there or you can round forward. Slowly start to lift yourself up from your fold. Bring your torso up. Use your hands to bring your knees together, moving slowly and gently. You can extend your legs out in front of you, shake them out gently, bring some movement. And we're going to work our way onto our bellies. So for me, the easiest way to do that is to roll over onto one hip, bring my legs out to the side, and then extend your arms out to the other side. So once you're on your side, you can pretty easily flip yourself onto your belly. But if you've got a tried and true way to do it, please do it. Once you're on your belly, you can bring your cheek down to the mat if you want. We're just going to bend one knee, let it go back down to the mat, bend the other knee. Release that one back down. Bend your right knee and then reach your right hand back towards your foot. If you can grab onto a heel or the whole foot, great. If you can grab onto a pants leg or a sock or whatever, that's great too. If you're just reaching towards your heel, then that's also a good place to be. At the same time as you're reaching towards your right foot with your right hand, you're bending the right knee, trying to get that foot towards you. And if you do have a hold of it, at the same time that you're drawing that foot in, you're also pressing the foot into your hand, or kind of creating this little lift. Take one more breath here. And release the right foot down, bend the left knee, reach back towards your left foot with the left hand. You can switch cheeks if you need to. If you've got hold of that foot, great. Pull it towards you. If you don't have hold of the foot, reach towards it. Keep reaching the heel towards your hand and your hand towards your heel. Take one more breath here and release. And we'll work our way onto our backs for final Shavasana. So you can flip yourself like a pancake, or if you've got other adjustments to make, you can get yourself comfy for Shavasana. You could take a traditional corpse pose with your legs down on the ground, feet fallen open, and your hands down by your sides. Or if you prefer, you can rest your hands on your belly. You can also put your feet flat on the mat, knees bent and knees together, if that feels better on your low back. And once you find the pose where you want to spend your Shavasana, then you can start to release any leftover tension that you notice. Let your arms and legs start to feel heavy. You can feel your breath come more easily and rhythmically, almost like the waves washing up on a beach. And then receding back into the ocean again. And enjoy this time of rest and relaxation. Take the time to thank your body for the hard work that it does for you. And start to bring awareness back into your body. You can start to bring some movement into your fingers and your toes. Maybe you roll your wrists and your ankles in little circles. And when you're ready, you can roll over onto your favorite side with your knees bent and drawn up towards your chest. You can use your arm as a pillow. And if you want to rest here a little bit longer, you can. If you're ready to come out of your Shavasana, you can use your hands to push yourself back up to sitting. And if your eyes are still closed, you can slowly flutter them open to let the light in. And then take one big breath here. And exhale, sigh it out. Well, I hope you feel ready for your beautiful Wednesday. Thank you so much for sharing your yoga practice and your time with me this morning.
Thank you so
Namaste.
much.
Yep.
It was
Have a good
great.
one.
You too.
Thanks.